She called me worthless on a Sunday. That night, he hit me. Blood filled my mouth before I could even say his name. Michael. My brother. The same boy who once took punches from me back in 7th grade, now throwing them to defend a woman who mocked my job, my clothes, my existence. 10 years ago, he cut me out of his life like I was an unwanted thread. No explanation. No goodbye. Just silence. A decade of nothing until yesterday, when the two of them showed up at the gates of my cliffside mansion. She stood there dressed in desperation disguised as couture, and he loomed just behind her like a shadow. Her smirk said she thought she still held the power. His face said otherwise. "We're moving in," she declared. I smiled, locked the gate, and turned away. I had preparations to make. It was finally time for him to see who had taken the place he abandoned. Michael and I hadn't always been divided. We shared bunk beds, comic books, dirt-stained summers spent waging backyard battles. But where I stayed grounded, he chased more. Money, prestige, applause. Then he met Cassandra, a woman who wore ambition like a fragrance strong enough to choke everyone else out of the room. At first, I played along. I even brought a gift to their engagement dinner. She didn't open it. Just looked me up and down and said, "Michael, did you invite the help?" He laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was easier than defending me. I should have left then. But family is an addiction, and I wasn't ready to quit. It started small, calls left unanswered, missed holidays, a hollow stare across the room at our mother's funeral. At the reading of the will, he sat with Cassandra's hand resting on his knee like a leash. Not a word for me. Then came the final cut. I saw a group photo on his law firm's website. Caption: "The family that wins together." He stood proudly beside Cassandra's brothers. My existence erased without a word. That night, I poured myself bourbon and stared at the ceiling for hours. I wasn't grieving. I wasn't furious. I was focused. My goal wasn't revenge. Not yet. It was resurrection. Every dime I had went into building something bigger than myself. Real estate. Tech ventures. A logistics company no one believed in until the pandemic made it explode. No announcements. No bragging. Just quiet, relentless building. I bought the house on the cliff not for the view, but for the symbolism, elevated, unreachable. And then I waited, because time always reveals the cracks. Their fall came like all downfalls do. Debt. Lawsuits. Rumors whispered in corners. Michael lost a key client over an ethics scandal. Cassandra tried to reinvent herself online, but the algorithm doesn't favor the forgotten. Divorce rumors followed. Then the market crashed. And suddenly, they were back at my gate. She looked worn down, thinner. He looked hollow. He pressed his face close to the intercom and muttered, "We just need a place until things settle." I let them in. Not to stay. To witness. I led them down marble halls lined with oil paintings, through silence that spoke of wealth. She tried to compliment the decor. I ignored her. Michael finally broke the quiet. "You've done well for yourself, man." I stopped. Turned. "No thanks to you." The words hit him like a delayed blow. He tried to laugh, but his face betrayed him. "You're angry," he said. "No," I replied. "Anger is loud. I've been silent." He looked around, maybe wondering where they'd sleep. That's when the front door opened again. Not Cassandra. Maya. My partner. The woman Michael once dismissed as a waste of my time. Maya, who now commands a private equity firm with more power in her inbox than Cassandra ever held at her peak. She kissed my cheek, glanced at them, and said, "You didn't mention parasites were coming." Cassandra flinched like she'd been slapped. Michael stared at Maya. "You're with her?" he asked. "No," I said. "She's with me. There's a difference." I didn't gloat. I didn't raise my voice. I simply walked them toward the same door they thought they'd entered to stay. "You replaced me," Michael said softly. I met his eyes for the first time in 10 years. No. You replaced yourself. I handed him a folder. Inside were documents. His firm's collapse, the lawsuit I'd quietly backed, the house he lost at auction, the one I bought. It's a rental now, I said. New tenants arrive next week. Cassandra gripped his arm, whispering something bitter. He didn't respond. I stepped back as the door opened. The gate's unlocked, I said, but it only opens one way. They walked out without protest. No shouting, no begging. Just silence, the same silence I lived with for a decade. People think revenge is born from rage. It isn't. It's balance. Precision. It's letting someone torch the bridge, then waiting on the other side with a mansion. I didn't lose a brother. He lost his place. And someone better filled it, someone who never once called me trash.